So, read you a little something here. This agency has warned leaders against relying on COVID-19 lockdowns to tackle outbreaks. This is dated October 11th, 2020. After previously saying countries should be careful how quickly they reopen, this organization's envoy, Dr. David Nabarro, said such restrictive measures should only be treated as a last resort. The British magazine The Spectator reported in a video interview with Dr. David Nabarro of this organization. We, in this organization, do not advocate lockdowns as the primary means of control of this virus, Nabarro said. The only time we believe a lockdown is justified is to buy you time to reorganize, regroup, rebalance your resources, protect your health care workers who are exhausted, but by and large, we'd rather not do it. Nabarro said tight restrictions cause significant harm, particularly on the global economy. Lockdowns just have one consequence that you must never ever battle, and that is making poor people an awful lot poorer, he said. He added that lockdowns have severely impacted countries that rely on tourism. Just look at what's happened to the tourism industry in the Caribbean, for example, or in the Pacific, because people aren't taking their holidays, Nabarro told the outlet. Look what happened to smallholder farmers all over the world. Look what's happening to poverty levels. It seems that we may well have a doubling of world poverty by next year. A doubling of world poverty. Directly impacted by this organization, directly impacted by people like Governor Cuomo, directly impacted by the CDC, directly impacted by people like the polling cars. Completely and utterly avoidable. Completely and utterly avoidable. Every individual that is out there terrified and scared, they own this doubling of the poverty. They have to own it because you were not responsible enough to educate yourself, to actually learn what was happening. You were told that this shouldn't have happened. This was on October 11th, 2020. We may well have at least a doubling also of child malnutrition. So a doubling, the UN also said there were going to be hundreds of millions, I believe it was 120 million people that were going to be pushed into poverty as a result of the lockdowns. And you can't find this information anywhere because the CDC has buried it. Google is burying it. You can't find it in search engines anywhere. You can't find it. The last thing, the UN previously warned countries against lifting lockdowns too soon during the first wave of the virus. The last thing any country needs is to open schools and businesses only to be forced to close them again because of resurgence, said Director General Tedros Adhanom, whatever it is. But Tedros had urged countries to bolster other measures, including widespread testing and contact tracing, so they could safely reopen and avoid future lockdowns. So these organizations, they don't even know what they're talking about. Just like I posted about Erie County, and people are defending what happened with Erie County. Oh, they didn't know the science. It was evolving science. Remember, that was one of the terms. Where did the evolving science term go? Because there is no evolving science on epidemiology. There is none. They've had it forever and ever and ever and ever. And anybody that professes that it was, fluid, and Erie County back in February, no masks, healthy people should not wear masks. Literally what they said. No masks, right on their website. Nothing new from Erie County. You can't find anything in Google. They're burying everything. CDC.gov stopped reporting anything on deaths back in April. You can't find any of that information on their website. You can't find it. Good luck. I try. I can't. If you find it, post it. We need to reach a sustainable situation where we have adequate control of this virus without shutting down our lives entirely or lurching from lockdown to lockdown, which has hugely detrimental impact on societies, he said. That is, just in case you guys don't know, I kept the organization, I didn't name it, that was the WHO. Back in October, just a month ago. UN had been reporting this was going to happen in April. The WHO started to get on board with it as well. Once they finally see the catastrophic effects, that you can't stop things like this. You have to allow people to live their lives. And these mental midgets that reside in this town, in this state, that are so afraid and so scared, these people that I see even on my page out there touting and professing the 1918 Spanish flu, second spike. Stop. 100 years of development in science and ways to protect ourselves and development. Governor Cuomo does not care. He doesn't care. He doesn't listen to the science. He said it in his phone call. These lockdowns aren't about science. They're about fear. Literally what he said, somebody recorded right on the phone. He does not care. Said he doesn't care about elderly, doesn't care about people that are, he doesn't care about people that are committing suicide, mental illness, doesn't care. The only people that matter are saving people from COVID. That's it. Literally people on my page saying that hospitals are filling up. Where's the proof? Show us the proof. More people are getting it. Okay, show me the proof. Well, they're testing positive for it. Okay, show me the proof that people actually have it or are asymptomatic with it. It doesn't all of a sudden change. It's just very, very, and I wanted to read a couple other arguments here. I wanted to try to find some other stuff. All right, here's one. Are lockdowns necessary? I didn't even get a chance to read this one. So there were dozens of countries that never shut down. They're still open for business. We have dozens of states in this country that never shut down really officially, and they're not shut down, no lockdown measures. Isn't that kind of odd? Nobody sees any, and even Cuomo. This is how much of a maniac this psychopath is. Literally says Erie County, those smaller towns, didn't experience it the way that New York City experienced the pain. Watch the video, read it. So he's going to punish us because he feels like we don't know. Like we haven't been shut down. Like 50% of our businesses haven't been shut down. Like we haven't been able to go to the gym. Like we haven't been able to visit our families in elderly care facilities. Are you kidding me? We haven't felt the pain? My volleyball just shut down because there are these, and I'm calling it what it is, these COVIDiots, these COVID crazy people, these mental midgets who haven't done 1 ounce of investigation or research on their own. Not any bit. And they believe everything that's on the news. So they called in and said, we're afraid to play. You weren't afraid yesterday to play. Do you understand how viruses work? No, you don't. You only understand your fear. And your fear is crippling and debilitating the rest of us who have a brain in our heads. It's just, what do you do with these people? And I have people in my life that are like, well, you can't hold them accountable. The hell I can't hold them accountable. Every single person that is around our town going around talking about how bad COVID is, every single one of them are responsible for these shutdowns that the WHO just got done saying, don't shut down, don't lock down. Just said it. And Cuomo says that we haven't felt the pain. Why don't you talk to the businesses that have lost $2 million and all of their employees that have lost $2 million, hundreds of thousands of dollars? They don't know. They built their business. You don't shut things down. I'm pissed. It's over. It's done. It's no more playing nice. It's guns a-blazing now. It is full force, in full effect. Every lawsuit, every attorney that we can use, every single law enforcement officer, sheriff, get the media into these hospitals. And if you're saying that these hospitals are filled up, then show us proof. Show us proof. There isn't any. There's nothing on CDC.gov. Nothing. Nothing on CDC.gov. There's nothing in Erie County saying where the numbers are. Why do you think that is? Why do you think you can't find the numbers? Why do you think that they're not reporting the numbers? Ask yourselves why the numbers haven't been there since April. Ask yourself. Because they're not real. If they were, they would be all over the place. And they're not there. Try to find them. You can't. You're not going to be able to find them. States have not shut down. They are wide open. If you believe this nonsense, you are a part of the problem. And I have no patience for you. I am done with you. You should be held responsible, just like Governor Cuomo and pulling cars and Bernstein and Zucker. Like all of them, if you are one of these people that are out there professing and telling people that this is a problem and you haven't provided information and facts, then you are a part of the problem. You are a part of the problem and you should be held accountable. Mainstream media needs to be held accountable. The newspapers need to be held accountable. Everybody needs to be held accountable on this. Everybody. Even private individuals. Because this is an act of terror again. You are a terrorist. And I said this at the very beginning of it, March and April. If you don't have facts, if you don't have evidence, if you don't have data, if you don't have research to corroborate and support your contentions and allegations, because everybody else is saying, in these doctors' offices are saying that there's not a problem. They're empty. Everybody is empty. There's no COVID patients. There's no COVID patients, and there's dozens of treatments up for it. Dozens of treatments. They're in a day or two, and they're gone, and they're out. But Governor Cuomo is literally going to come out and say that they didn't suffer the effects. We have this huge zone in Erie County that we just happen to have in Erie County. Just happen to have in Erie County. So New York City is below 3%. And Governor Cuomo keeps moving the bar down, right? Love you too, Linda. Keeps moving the bar down, right, for schools. Oh, we're at 2%. Nobody else in the country is below 2%. You killed 50,000 people with your measures. 50,000 people died because you put elderly people in the elderly care. You forced the elderly care institutions to take the people that were sick. You murdered them. You slaughtered them. You killed them because you have the small PP and this God complex, this Hitler micro penis thing that you got going on with Trump. And you had all of these treatments that were out there at the very beginning. We're not going to use them. The only state that didn't use them, and he led our people to the slaughter, to the financial slaughter as well, to religious slaughter as well, to medical freedom slaughter as well, educational slaughter as well, murder as well. He murdered education, he murdered our medical freedoms, he murdered our religious freedoms, he murdered our right to assemble, to visit our families in elderly care facilities, as much as he murdered these poor people in these elderly care facilities. He did it. And everybody sat around thinking that, hey, he gave us a little bit of a nugget. It wasn't ever going to get better. It's not ever going to get better. The only way it gets better is by us taking it back. Full on taking it back. Utilizing every single one of us and every resource that we have to take it back. To ban these scumbags, every single one, for life from our businesses. Ban them for life. Do not pay a fine. Keep your business open. Do not close your business. When they fine you, do not pay it. Sue every single one of them for every single dollar you lost. Use this article from the WHO from October as your basis, as your evidence. Use that article from the WHO and dozens of other articles that are out there as your basis for your suit, to support your suit and your side. Use Sweden as your case study. Use South Korea. Use any of the other over a dozen countries that remained open and are still open. Use the other states that have remained open. Use Cuomo's own words. These people weren't suffering. They didn't know what the pain was, the real pain, so now they got to suffer. They got to be closed. Guys, your neighbors and your friends, they were shut down. Your elderly are still locked up in internment camps. You literally have put our elderly in internment camps. That's what he's done. You can't visit your loved one. It's got to be by Skype. You can't even take your loved one out. That is imprisonment. That is literally what they did to the Japanese in this country. That is literally what they did to the Jewish people in internment camps in Nazi Germany. But these elderly people don't have a voice. Nobody is fighting for them. The teachers, the teachers that don't want this and they believe it, they're terrified to say anything. The doctors and the nurses that are in these hospitals that know this is nonsense and bullshit can't say anything because they're terrified to lose their jobs. And they will lose their jobs if they speak the truth because they're not following the narrative and towing the line. I am done with people being terrified and afraid and that dictating everybody else's life. I don't care if 60% of the people or however many people are afraid and terrified, whatever the number is, which it isn't that number. And we all know it's way lower than that because people know this is all BS. People have brains in their heads and they can see other states and they can see other countries and they can see what's happening. But if you're afraid, stay home. Don't work. Get government assistance. Why do you feel the need to tell other people they have to stay home? Why? Why? It is completely irrational and illogical to tell other people they have to stay home. WHO says so. October 11th, 2020, look it up. WHO says it's irrational and illogical to keep people in lockdowns. It is going to double the global poverty rate. It's going to double malnutrition. But they don't understand that. They just don't understand it. So they're like, well, 35 people died in the state. That sucks. We don't even know if it was COVID or not. There's no evidence. Show me the proof that there's evidence that that's the case. We have the proof right now that clearly shows that my figures that I've seen are up to 80% that they're false positives. 80% coming back as false positives with all these testing kits. You don't think for a second that they could send all those kids and direct them to Erie County and affect that? Absolutely they can. 1,000% they can. And it's out of spite that Cuomo, they didn't suffer out there, so they're going to need to suffer now. Don't lock things down. Doubling. The world poverty rate, what is the world poverty rate? It's over 100 million. It's hundreds of millions of people that live in poverty. Doubling hundreds of millions. So if you have and people, there's a complete disconnect with it. Well, that's not happening in New York State. Are you kidding me? And it doesn't even have to be that level. If you're stealing $100 from a business, from somebody who can't work because the powers, these dictatorial executive powers that you bestowed upon this criminal, that's too much. It's like I said earlier today, it's why does it have to be this monumental thing This mountain of evidence that they've done, that they've stolen hundreds of millions and billions of dollars from us, which they have, and they don't get prosecuted for it. We feel like we're obligated, that we have to build this mountain of evidence against them. No! Stop, guys. We need to stop playing nice. Stop. It's time to get pissed. And do everything you can. You organize every lawyer that you know. You organize every person that you know. You organize every attorney that you know. Every public official that you know. Every judge you know. You organize them all. Every teacher you know. Every doctor and medical professional you know. You organize them all. Get them together. And if you can't do it and you're not comfortable doing it, you put them in contact with me. Otherwise, this is going to keep going. WHO just, October 2020 said it. They got them a taste of the power, and they love it. They love knowing that people aren't going to step up against them. They love it. This isn't about protecting people and safety and numbers. They know that. He keeps moving the numbers down, 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 down. Every time a number is achieved within the schools, we're going to drop the number down because we got to keep them on edge. Got to keep them in fear. You know, that is what the biggest tyrants in history have done. That's what this guy is doing. And we got to be done playing nice, guys. It's done. They don't care. And I've been talking about this for months and months and months. They don't care about you. They don't care about your business. They don't care about how you survive. They don't care. They just care about the control. They care about the fear. They care about the power that they have and not giving it up. And they're going to wield it every chance they get and hold it over you. Gavin Newsom, that was found by his state Supreme Court in California that the executive powers that he was using were unconstitutional. In the state of California, they ruled that his use of constitutional powers, executive powers were unconstitutional. In California, Michigan, the same thing. Now they want to impeach her because she won't rein it in. Like, when all the science is there, and I love it when these people say the science, show me the science. Show me your science, because here's all the real science. Here's all the 100 years of science. Here's all the last year of science. Here's this country. Here's this country. Here's this country. Here's the WHO's findings. Here's the CDC's findings. Here's the NIH's findings. Here's what this person said. Here's what this person said. Here's what this person said. Here's what this state is doing. Here's what this state is doing. Here's what this state is doing. Here are the death rates. Nothing. Here's the curve. Nothing. This is what this country did. It was over and done for months. That's the science. And then they go, "Ooh, you don't believe the science. You're dangerous," they say. "You're getting people killed," they say. No, we're not. There are viruses around. Like, these people literally feel like they have to save. The only people that they've got to save are the people from COVID. Nobody else matters. That's how completely indoctrinated, programmed, and brainwashed they are. Out of their minds. Playing nice is over. It's got to be over, guys. You know, you look into the face of these business owners, but you take a look at who. Just like I said from the very beginning, share the pair. Teachers don't care. They're getting paid, right? Nurses, doctors, all the hospital employees, they don't care. They're getting paid. Government employees getting paid. People that receive, the government money getting paid. They don't care. Nobody cares because they're getting paid, right? Oh, it doesn't affect me. I work for Amazon. I work for Walmart. It doesn't affect me. Like, how heartless and inhumane is that? absolutely heartless and inhumane. And it's criminal. Hey, Cody. Hey, Diana. Hey, Kim. And they want to support it. They want to go out there and professing, see, we told you there was going to be a second spike. 1918, Spanish flu. There is no second spike. There's not. And the first spike that you had was the second that you thought you had was probably actually the second spike, because this has been here since August of last year. You know, like I said, Section 8 housing, October, November 2018 or 2019, they were putting out all the flyers to every single business. Every single business had, or every single Section 8 home, apartment had it. This is a threat. This is what you do. Just like on Erie County's website, February 2020, myth, you can't, you can still travel, right? Myth, you don't have to wear a mask. Myth, you don't have to avoid Chinese people, right? And now you still got to be shut down. And I posted it on the page, guys. Pulled it right from them, and then you'll have the supporters of this, these delusional, deranged psycho-sociopaths that are so tunnel vision and so narrow-minded that they can't see anything other than COVID or the alleged COVID that's out there, the number of cases. People aren't dying, and they want to say 35 deaths. They can apply that to anybody at this point. As a matter of fact, I know for a fact that in two different situations locally here, people said that they go, yep, they died of COVID. Just like that, they died of COVID. I go, they died of COVID. Well, what, are you sure about that? Well, no, they did have a heart condition and they had this other thing and they suffered several heart attacks, but it's COVID that killed them. You can't find the numbers for how many people have died you can't find it for 2020. You can't even find it for 2019. Go ahead, look, guys. You're going to have to, who else is going to report it? CDC is the only one. Each one of the deaths that occurs, it goes through, the hospital or the doctor or the morgue. It goes through those individuals and it goes to, the CDC directly. And if they're not going to report it, where are you going to get that information? I have heard reports and seen where they have posted where we are 1 million fewer deaths this year than we were in 2018 and 2019. And that was back in October. So it's even greater now. And you could still find the one report. It's still up there. It shows that we were 50,000 in April. We were 50,000 fewer deaths in April than we had in 2019. And Marie Rock just did some research and showed that the death counts, there's no increase in the death counts. So, and then, you have the people who want us all to be living in lockdowns despite what the WHO says, despite what the UN says, despite what dozens of countries and leaders say, despite what tens of thousands of economists say, epidemiologists, viral scientists. The only people that these people want to cite and tout and refer to are the people that are on their televisions. That's it. And they're going to be like, they said this. Did they provide proof? No, they didn't. They just said it, but it's on your television, so it's got to be true. We got to be done playing nice, guys. We have to. I know I've been working hard. I know so many others have been working hard. We all have to put in as much effort and time as we possibly can. We need to utilize every single resource that we can to take this back. We have to. And we need to let these people that are living in fear know that it's okay to live in fear for yourself. But if you're going to demand or require that I live in fear too, then we're holding you accountable. You no longer get a free pass. You no longer get a free pass. You should know better at this point. You've had all of this research and data that you chose, you willfully ignored, you negligently ignored. It was all out there. You could even see what the mainstream media was telling you. You could see that mainstream media was telling you everything leveled out, that it leveled out, that the numbers weren't increasing, the death counts weren't increasing. But they said, what, that second spike? You gotta wait for that second spike. Like, everybody's gotta wait for the second spike, right? So they've been waiting, and they've been, oh, we told you, they just wanna, they've been so wrong for about everything. They needed to be right about something, right? So that now the second spike isn't happening, so now they got to manufacture the second spike with tests that come back, 80% of them with false positives. 80% of them come back with false positives. And the test kits are picking up anything. They are picking up anything that is COVID, any COVID strain for the past 15 years. That's how sensitive they are. Are people getting it now? Yes. Were they getting it over the summer? Yes. Were they dying from it? They shouldn't have been, because if they were, that's medical negligence. It's criminal negligence. You know, everybody says you got to move, right? You're going to move. You know, everybody says that it's going to it'll get better, right? It's going to get better. Guys, there's only one way it gets better, and that's by us taking it back. And we have to employ every legal and lawful tactic that there is out there in order to take it back. We need to use every bit of science that's out there, every bit of research, every bit of data, and we need to insist that exactly, Jackie, we need to insist that they provide the evidence. And if you cannot provide the evidence, then you're not shutting us down. You're not shutting our businesses down. You're not shutting our gym down, tattoo parlors, massage parlors, beauticians. You're not shutting any of it down. You're not shutting our schools down. Show us the evidence. Show us the hospitals that are filled and overwhelmed. The evidence suggests, what's the best way for America to open and reopen and return to business? The National Coronavirus Recovery Commission, a project the Heritage Foundation assembled America's top thinkers to figure that out. So far, it has made more than 260 recommendations. The evidence suggests that full lockdowns, such as those implemented in Italy and Norway, are not as effective as the more targeted approaches taken in other countries, such as in South Korea and Iceland. In fact, as we discuss, those two countries have fared considerably better than the United States has in handling COVID-19 without shutting down their economies. Sweden left their economy open completely. They are done. They had less than, they definitely had less than 5,000 deaths. Last time I checked was several months ago. I believe they had less than 4,000 deaths. It may have elevated to 10,000. I don't know. I can't remember exactly. New York State, 10,000 or 50,000 deaths. At least 5 times. If it was 10 or 9,000, or if it was 4 or 5,000, I can't remember specifically. Like I said, it's a few months. New York State, 50,000 deaths. That's what they had. 50,000 deaths. Impeachment proceedings, Elizabeth, can't happen because we don't have the House. We don't have the votes in the House, and we don't have the votes in the Senate. Anna, absolutely. Message me. I need you. Absolutely. Jackie, whatever you can do. Diana's already working her ass off. Roger, whatever you can do, whatever you want to do. Elizabeth, whatever you want to do, reach out. We already have command center put together. Dale and I met. We meet about 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours each day, trying to build this and attack and assemble everything that we need to, legally and lawfully. We're done being attacked. We're done being slaughtered. We're done being murdered emotionally, psychologically. We're done being slaughtered intellectually, physically, with our families, educationally. We're done being slaughtered, financially especially. We're done. These other countries never shut down. Cuomo murdered 50,000 people in this state. And he goes around saying he did such a great job. And you have all these people that support the shutdowns, and you ask yourselves why they do. And now we need to hold them criminally accountable as terrorists. Every single person that supports and advocates this needs to be held accountable as a terrorist. I don't care. Ignorance, like they say, right? Ignorance is no excuse to for being in it, whatever the hell it is, right? Oh, God, I'm blanking on this. You guys know what I'm talking about. You don't get to claim ignorance. You don't. You had every opportunity to research this stuff. You had every opportunity to research this stuff. Jackie, we're going to get together tomorrow for breakfast, all right? So let's plan on doing that right after my live. I'm going to be getting together with Dale, and I'll move Dale back to like 12. Let's me, and Mark get together tomorrow at after my live. Let's plan for 10 o'clock, okay, Jackie? Text me, though. Mark has my phone number. I messaged him. So we'll do that. Let's plan that for tomorrow. You don't get to claim ignorance anymore. You don't. It's time to hold every single person accountable for depriving every single one of us of all the things that they have. You have these attorneys over in Germany that are going after these people for war crimes because the science is in every other state except for the ones run by the leftists. In all the countries that stayed open, nobody is dying. And people will say, Sweden, yeah, but Sweden, why is Sweden a different case? It is almost exactly like New York State. Almost exactly like New York State. Has almost this identical population, has almost the same exact population density, city centers. It is about as apples to apples as you can get. No lockdown, students being educated the entire time, their elderly not being slaughtered, 50,000 people didn't die in their country. They had at least 20% the number of people that died. At least, if it's not 10%. Like I said, I can't remember what the figure was. At least that much. If you could not have handled it more wrong than Cuomo has. You could not have handled it more wrong than Cuomo has. Nobody killed more people. And everybody else had the same issues and worse issues to deal with than he did. No shutdowns, no lockdowns, schools remained open, people able to live their lives, visit, remain healthy, mental health up there, poverty didn't increase, child malnutrition didn't double, poverty didn't double. Small businesses didn't get cut down in half. The number of businesses that are open that shut down, and they didn't lose hundreds of thousands of dollars each or millions of dollars each in Sweden. Playing nice is no longer an option. I am committed to this thing 18 hours a day. I'm going to sleep 6. I'm going to get my workouts in and I'll eat a little bit. But other than that, I am committed to this thing. And I need you guys. Absolutely, Anna. It's not. And we need all of these COVID crazy people, these COVIDiots, these people that aren't listening, the diaper wearers, the face diaper wearers, they need to now be held accountable. If Cuomo wants to use their fear as a basis for committing all these atrocities against us, then we have to go against every single person. They weaponized these people against our small business owners. They weaponized these people who are scared against people from having get-togethers at their homes. Absolutely, Elizabeth, please do. Message me with that information, all right? Marie Rock, Marie Rock, brilliant woman. She is putting together a seminar for this Monday, guys. This Monday. She's already on it. We have already been working on this stuff. FreeNYS.com. Like, we knew what was coming. We knew what was coming. And I can sit back and I can just say, you know what? Screw you guys. You didn't pay attention. Small business owners, screw you guys. You didn't pay attention. You didn't want to fight. You know what? You get what you got. You get what you got. Thank you, Melissa. 6,321 deaths compared to 50,000 deaths. No shutdowns. And all the media labeled them, they're going to commit human atrocities. That's crimes against humanity. No, it's because Sweden is one of the smartest places on the face of the planet because they invest in education. And what New York State is doing is they are doing everything to destroy the educational establishment for decades and decades and decades. The people of Sweden can think for themselves. They can do research. Google and social media doesn't have to bury information and knowledge. Their people can look at it, research it, evaluate it, and say, oh yeah, okay, everything's fine. I'll go with that. I'll go with those people. Let me see. What are my options here? I can either listen to all the lemmings and the COVIDiots here in New York State that are pumped full of misinformation and lies and propaganda all day long. I can listen to them because that's probably a really reliable source. Or I can listen to the country that dominates education every single year and has one of the most highly educated societies that we have. Okay, well, I think I'm going to listen to Derek in New York, who's from Sloan, because, he works for the government and he probably knows better, and, he graduated because he was pushed through high school, because he was out drinking every day and he didn't attend, 60% of the classes, but they still pushed him through anyway. I think Derek, I'm going to go with Derek's opinion on that, as opposed to, I try to come up with some Swedish name. Somebody from Sweden who, went through college and most of their society is highly educated. They make a huge investment in educating their society and their children. Huge investment, huge value, huge priority on teachers and education and their students, their people. Huge investment. When's the last time you've heard that there's a huge investment in education here in New York? Exactly, Elizabeth. That's exactly it. But the worst thing is that these people who are ignorant and stupid and a part of the New York educational system, they think that they're brilliant. And then the people that went to college, right? The people that, I got a 4-year degree from Buff State, from SUNY Buff State, or SUNY Brockport. I got my associate's degree from ECC, so I know what's up. I got my education, my college degree. Well, but you don't ever do any real research. You kind of only do the research that, supports what it is that the media claims. That doesn't seem suspicious to you at all? That doesn't seem a little bit, off kilter, Brett, Karen? Doesn't seem a little bit fishy? No, they wouldn't lie to us. Oh, okay. So it's only Trump that can lie. That's why we need to hold these people accountable. We have to hold these people accountable. Each individual. Ignorance is no excuse to break the law. It's none. And right now, all of these people that shut down volleyball for me and that are shutting down all these businesses that picked up the phone and called the Department of Health anytime because somebody wasn't wearing a mask or any violation that they think they had, they are a domestic terrorist. And they need to be punished criminally. They need to answer for what they have done criminally. And guys, like literally, that has got to be our movement. We have got to come together so that we can suppress, that we need to let the local media know if you put anything out there like the Buffalo News did, you are going to be charged. We're going to hold you accountable for that. We are documenting it. We are chronicling every single thing that you are doing in the media, and we're recording it. And if we can't prosecute you criminally now, we will civilly, whatever way that we can. And then when we get our sheriffs in office, and I'm not saying that the sheriff that we have right now is a bad guy, but he can't fight at this level. He's a politician at this point. And I'm not saying he's a bad guy. He may be a great guy. I don't know. I don't know what his policies have been. I don't know what he has done for the community. However, he is not ready for this fight, and this fight needs to be had because they have stolen from our business owners, our small business owners here in this community, just the people that I know, tens of millions of dollars, overall billions of dollars just in Erie County with having these shutdowns and these lockdowns. Unacceptable. And when the media is not only complicit, but driving it home every day with fear, Channel 2, Channel 4, Channel 7, we are going to come after you criminally for crimes against humanity, as being treasonous, as being traitor, medical malpractice, because you're putting information out there that you had no documentation about whatsoever. You weren't talking about Sweden. You weren't talking about WHO and the Heritage Foundation's report. You weren't talking about any of the case studies in any other states. All you talked about is what was going to sell commercials for you, and that is criminal. And if it's not criminal and there's not a statute on the books, then we need to create one, and create one fast, that the media can no longer be weaponized against the people, as a tool to be weaponized against the people. And that's what they've been right now. And every single one of these media outlets, every single one of the reporters, every single one of them needs to be personally held accountable. That's the only way this is going to stop. We can't sit on the sidelines anymore on this, guys, because we've seen it. They read right here. You can't go from lockdown to lockdown to lockdown. You think Cuomo hasn't seen that? You think Poloncarz hasn't seen it? It was the WHO. You can't do lockdowns. This is going to be the result. They don't care. Don't care. They only care about themselves. They care about the money they're making off of this. They care about that power they got. They love them, that ego. You know, Poloncarz being on TV all the time. They love it. Love being in power. You know, then they get to be at their events and their socials and all the, the maniacs. Like, you got the level of depravity that these women that find Poloncarz and Cuomo attractive because of this, they got to be the first ones that go away. You know, all the Stacys of the world, right? My name is Stacy. Or whatever other name you want to give them. I love people that are in control, and that is fucking fueling Cuomo and Poloncarz, because they have these monster egos. I gotta go. I gotta go to dinner. I don't even know what time is it. What time is it, guys? 5:56. I gotta get garlic bread. I'm running late. I'm having spaghetti and meatballs. Spaghetti, meatballs, salad, and garlic bread. So it'll be good. I'm going over to Patty's house. Patty needs a little bit of company. I think we all do. If anybody is hurting tonight, guys, please message me. I'm gonna try to be on the phone the best that I can and be available. You know, if you have anybody that needs to talk, if they're feeling down or depressed as a result of what's going on here, please let them know. Reach out to me, have them friend request me. I know that people love to say on the other side, well, you're not an authority. I'm way more of a friggin' authority than you are. At least I'm educated on it. What are you educated on? At least I know where all these sources are, what everybody's saying. That makes me considerably more of an authority than Cuomo and somebody that cares. We're fighting, guys, and we all need to fight in every way that we can. Look at Jackie and Mark. Jackie and Mark we're going to get together tomorrow. Dale's getting together. Dale's committed to getting together every single day. And we're going to grow what we're doing every single day. You know, Diana's been fighting hard. Heather's been fighting. Every single one of us. Gay's been fighting hard. Gina Gentry, Nancy Orticelli, Nick Orticelli in his own way. Everybody has been fighting. Joe Palladino. But guys, we have got to be more concerted with this. You know, we have to be, like I said, we can't play nice anymore. There's no more sitting back on the sidelines. It's got to be full throttle at this point. 1,000%. That's great, Cody. I told you, we're kindred spirits, brother. We're attached at the hips, man. We're soulmates. So, what is it, a crescent? I don't even know what the moon is out there right now. Thanks for letting me get that off my chest. I was sitting there and I was just folding laundry and getting my workout in, and I'm like, I gotta go on. You know, I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna say or how I'm gonna present it, but I gotta go on because I know people are gonna be upset about this. Love you guys. If anything else happens tonight, I'll come back on. But if you guys need anything, please, please, please reach out to me. All right. I'll talk to you later, guys. Love you.